Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the OB54 Paladins Patch Show. It is winter in July. Apparently, guys. Nick is barely hanging on here. You all right, buddy? You're going to make it. We're almost down the mountain. He's very, very, very cold, and, of course, we'll let you know what all this joke is about here. We got a festive set for you guys. It's kind of fun to just dress this up randomly. Of course, before we get the show started, let's introduce everybody. My name is Rain Day, and this, of course, High Res Pretty Hair sitting by me in the extravagant gear. We've got our lead designer for Paladins, High Res Martini, and, of course, lead art director Thomas Holt. High Res Holt.
How's it going?
I guess I should preface my outfit with the fact that I heard that Alyssa had props, so I assumed that meant her outfit.
Sure.
So I had to go real ham with my outfit. But
Sure.
Turns out she just meant lights in a tree.
You know, it's okay. Sometimes we get things
You're
wrong.
going to be okay, man.
You still look good.
Yes.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. It's still working
I'm
for you.
actually mad comfy right now.
Yeah. I mean, but those are a little hard, those are harsh on this light right here.
They
maybe
are.
you should take the goggles off? Or
Yep.
Maybe.
Okay.
That would probably be a good idea.
I just think that's probably good.
Oh, my goodness.
That's better. You're right.
Guys, let's get the show started, please. Let's get going, guys. How's everybody doing today, by the way?
Fantastic.
Pretty
yeah,
good.
it's
Very
a Friday.
festive.
Very festive. This is very out of the ordinary for us.
Kind of.
To just change, to create, kind of
Feels
like
just like another
moments.
day at High Res.
Yeah.
Yep.
I guess you're actually right about that. And I guess let's explain to people why we're going into this kind of festivity in the middle of July. I mean, it is raining outside. Georgia weather
right now, dude.
can't decide.
I'll tell you what.
They can't
I'll tell
decide.
you what. It's like sunny outside,
Well, I'll tell you what.
and it started to rain, and there's like this hatch in the stairwell.
Yes.
In y'all's building, there's a hatch that was just open. It's just like raining through the ceiling of the building.
Onto
And
your-
there's like a couple of high-res people like, oh, wow, how do we close that? And I'm just like, it's just like another day at high-res.
High-res problems, man.
Yeah.
So, of course, it is winter in July, and that is because we have a festive chest that is returning to
That's true.
Paladins.
Hey.
That's true. So we have a lot of content that we had last holiday season that hasn't seen the light of day in a while. So we're bringing it back. Bringing the winter festive experience here with a couple of little changes actually.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's got a twist.
It's got a twist.
It
twist,
does.
Twist of lime, twist of lemon.
Twist of ice.
Twist of ice. Ooh.
And Gunfire.
Ooh, maybe that means we got some new skins coming up. I am excited to be able to get for especially people who weren't around to get like the Knessa beanie, which is a dope accessory there.
Yeah.
The pip gun, that was like one of the first pip guns I think that really it shocked me. I love that.
And the Andro horns.
Yeah, I was about to say you got the antler horns.
Yeah.
It's so good.
That's what it is, the Andro Antler Horn. So you guys are excited. That festive chest is returning here. But as I said, there's a little bit of a twist. We've got some new skins that are actually going to be included in that chest. We'll let these guys talk about them. The first one to be discussed and shown to you guys, it's Tyra Direwolf.
Damn. That art.
She's looking
Yes.
good.
That's easily my favorite right out the gate.
Can we talk about that gun, though?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a
Yeah.
badass gun, man. Like the engraved wolf head. Oh, it's so cool. But winter
Gotta
has
take my shades
definitely
down
been
to look
coming
at this,
in
actually.
July for a while now. So it's time you guys
Wow.
finally see the Direwolf Tyra in all of her majestic ice
That is
glory.
badass.
Yeah, this is one of those cases where when we were first designing the character itself, and we had like the whole monster hunter, the fact that she's going to be hunting down these big fantastical beasts of the realm, we actually had this skin pretty much almost concepted and kind of at least the idea like proven out before we even finished the champion. And so yeah, the gun has done a great job with that. It's got the wolf head. When you have the grenade launcher, it kind of opens the mouth.
Wow.
And fires out. She has her, of course, on the back, if he flips around, you can kind of see the dire wolf itself.
Yes, the cape.
Nice Borker there, and then the wildfire too. So her fire bomb is like it's this green color.
Oh,
that's
no
really
way.
really nice. So
We just like the color.
Yeah, it's
No
beautiful.
connection.
Yeah, because that
It's-
doesn't make any.
no.
I mean, green
No.
is. I would think it would be blue.
Yeah, we were just like, hey, it's
Change it up.
Winter's coming.
be dry
in
ice, you know
July,
what I mean, instead of fire.
Yeah, it's good.
Nice.
It's good.
She's the
It's nice.
wild. Tyra is the wild. Green
That's-
is a very
That's
wild
true.
color.
She's the untamed.
Yeah, she's the untamed.
Grover's the
wild.
Oh, God bless.
So look at it. Look at this. Is it?
Grover should have been like the blessed or something like that. Just completely off kilter.
This looks like something. I mean, the green. I'm acid. I'm like, I guess Dread Hunter Drogos and maybe Tyra were hanging out one time. Maybe she tried to hunt him and only
She
took
bottled
his
his
acid.
venom.
Bottled his venom. I
She
think
looks
that's
like she
canon.
could hunt some monsters
That's
like
canon.
Dodos.
Yeah, that's actually Paladins.
that would be interesting.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I know we're going to be able to see this thing in game as well, but as we finish off taking a look at this in the lobby, all the detail, all the texture, it brings Tyra in a different way, very different from her Baroness skin. I actually am I love Tyra skins because they give her a different attitude almost.
Oh, totally. And like I said, she's a great opportunity for us because of her theming itself is so strong. I mean, just imagine all the different fantastical creatures out there and all the different things in the realm and how many skins that lines up for us. And so I'm sure we'll be hearing, from the people on Reddit and through Twitter and everything else, like, owlbears and dragons and like, a bunch of different other ideas that we hopefully can get into the game as skins for her as well.
Various capes to come alongside.
That's
whatever
what
she
I'm
kills,
saying.
you just put it in a cape.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's
man.
it.
Yeah.
Some Wolfpine capes coming up soon.
that would be
dark.
That would be
Real
awesome.
That'd be a little graphic.
Yep.
Okay.
Find your mark.
Let's
And
listen.
just breathe.
Are we hearing something here?
We are hearing someone get in the game because
Is
the
this-
audio looped over the broadcast.
So this is we're about to head into game to check out the Tyra Direwolf skin. Again, this is going to be in the festive chest for all of you who want to pick this up in OB54. You'll have the chance to do so, as well as a lot of really cool things that have been
We
recycled.
seriously need a Volpine Hunter skin.
And that includes the weapon.
That can't be a profession.
It also
It can't be.
includes
That is cruel.
the champion skin set. So that is the ACC. It is the attachment, the body as far as the skin itself.
Got it.
And a voice pack that goes
wonderful.
with this.
Wow.
And this is epic tier, so it has all new VFX, sound, everything else that goes into it, which is really good. And like I said, that's a good addition to the festive chest. Which, if you remember, it does have like a lot of ACCs, like we were talking about earlier, with the horns and the beanie and those kind of things. But it also had an Eevee skin, and she's kind of gotten the same kind of treatment. So you have the Merrymaker coming back.
I am missing the Merrymaker voice pack, so now I can finally complete it.
It's
I don't know
all
how
in
I
there
forgot
in
to
the
do
new
that.
packaging,
How?
so-
I don't know. I'm an idiot.
We have free crystals,
that
so I don't
gun.
get
There
it.
we go.
But here it is in 1P. Even
that gun looks so mean.
Jeez.
I mean, this is really cool. You guys have been designing these guns to really deliver a very different experience just from a 1P perspective. So, I mean, there's so much of Paladins played just looking at your gun. This very different feel. Even the frost coming out of the mouth of the gun here.
Yeah, and it's a little blown out on that surface, but like one of the big things that you have, there you go, there's a spray. You know that illustration you saw at the beginning? We got that coming in game as art. So.
Must have.
That is badass. That's a good spray right there.
That's a must-have spray.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, and there's
see
that
that?
wildfire.
That's what I'm talking about.
Wow. Need to see this nade launcher.
Launch that nade.
Give it to me.
Woof. Very cool, man. I love the kind of the mean angle of the eyes and the severity of the ears. It all looks very visceral and savage, which befits a hunter in the wild.
It certainly does.
Time for the ult, in my opinion.
And I think we could see the grenade even one more time against the wall or something. I didn't really see a lot of the explosion. Definitely getting a lot of the Molotov, though. Don't stand in that. That will hurt you. And maybe just the grenade on the
Physics,
wall.
boys.
There it is.
There we go.
Looking
Nice
good.
old bluey explosion.
Physics.
And just an exciting, and the mouth opens up. That's what's so cool about this gun. It's just you get that
Opens pretty
visceral
wide.
action in front of you. Totally different experience. And the old, of course,
Oh, boys.
probably has a little bit of something different to it as well. Just
Actually, I
get some
think the
energy.
original ult will line up with this even better than before.
Really?
Because it's already
it
the
has?
wolf howl. Yeah. Like,
Makes a lot more sense.
That's right.
that's mean, dude. So mean.
Very, very mean. Wolf is kind of shooting out of his nose as well. It's like, is he, got a lot of,
You got a cold.
got a
It's winter.
cold. That's what I'm saying. It's winter. It's just like, what if that was just wolf gun mucus? What do you guys think about that?
Or we could listen to the voice pack.
Or we could.
Tyra. Go ahead. Cry, wolf. Shall we hunt? I heard tales of dragons, and they were much bigger in the stories. The deed is done. The hunt is over. You're hungry like a wolf.
Oh, goodness.
Tyra always pays her debts.
Yes, she
Ooh.
does.
And so, my watch has ended.
That was a good death
I
line.
wrestled a direwolf with my bare hands. These foes will be of little trouble.
They replaced the Direwolf or the Gorlock?
Ooh.
Yeah.
And some of the lines there as well. I mean, just very, very, very exciting stuff for people playing Tyra and going into with this skin, just having even the Mercy Kill Legendary. I mean, you could could really style on some people with some of this attitude.
I'm a style, yes.
Oh
yes.
yeah.
The big
Many
change in
stylings will be
personality is like that's what I love about the voice packs.
Yep.
That's like what makes a skin for me is like a big personality change with the voice pack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's just like I said before, like it's a good opportunity, and especially for the dev team, it gives us an opportunity to kind of play outside the base character while being true to it, and explore some new stuff. And we did that not only with this skin, but we did add a little something extra into the chest as well, which I think is a good example of that. So, Inara has a very kind of kind and kind of almost motherly kind of base personality. She's getting a little love for this chest as well. That's not quite the same tone.
That's true. Oh, and to clarify, it is the original festive chest was parts and pieces, right?
Yes.
But with our new model, we are condensing those. So if you roll the new Direwolf Tyra, you're going to get the full Tyra,
The whole
and then
shebang.
and then the weapon is separate, but it is the full character skin, body skin. It isn't. You don't have to roll for the accessory,
So
the body,
similar
the
to
voice pack.
the summer chest,
Correct.
you would get all of the legs,
Exactly.
all of
Exactly.
Cassie.
Yep.
The weapon
Full
is still
shebang.
separate
Yep.
though.
And the voice pack as well.
Yep. Voice
Oh,
pack is with
awesome.
the body skin.
That's fantastic. Well, taking a look at Inara,
Yep.
Ice Walker.
Oh boy.
She comes into the realm in OB54 with a glacier theme that is intimidating, beautiful, and I think a little bit haunting as well.
We had world first Inara level 25 mastery the other day. Shout out
Nice.
to my boy 211 on console actually. Console
Oh, wow,
Inara,
nice.
world first 25.
Now he has something to rock.
He is
Yes.
going to be amped about
Or
this.
ice.
That was a good pun, Garrett. He's been rocking her for a while, you could say. And look at these floating stones. I mean, this is incredible.
Yeah, the character team and the weapon team just did a really, really good job with this. As you guys know, we recently introduced a realm pack that has a ice-related mount, and we were kind of working on that in coordination with this skin specifically, as those artists kind of got together, and we were looking at like how ice is portrayed and how to do it. They did a beautiful job. It looks great. It looks great in game, and it's just really, really well done.
Dude, I didn't even think about her on the ice mount. That's going to be
So good.
I know.
That's gonna be
She's going to
awesome.
look like the
So good.
queen, dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
love
my
it.
And it's
goodness.
the same deal with this. This is a full epic skin, so
Okay.
she's got all new effects. If you think about her deployables, her wall, everything else, it has a full ice treatment. VFX, sound lines, voice pack, and then the full champion and the weapon.
I wonder if we'll see Ice Mines and Frozen Guard played a lot more now with these new skins.
Maybe.
It feels like,
Yeah,
you're just going to have to get the matchup.
Tactical advantage. You're going to blend in.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Blend
there
into
you
the
go.
glacier a
There
little
you
bit.
go.
There it is. I wouldn't be surprised. Some pros, they'll try anything.
Yep.
But I'm sure still be able to see her. She's like
on, Garrett.
8, 9
That
foot
would be
tall.
pay to win. All right?
That's
You
right.
have to buy
Outlines.
this skin if you want to fit in on the ice
I'm
mines.
the Lex skin surfs on water. I'm not kidding, guys. Try it in your games. You'll win. You could just go on water.
Plus
I
40%
would, if we
damage.
could make him do like one more damage on, like he does, one more damage on Serpent Beach.
yeah.
If you're wearing the summer skin.
I would like that. That would be really funny.
That'd be gnarly, bro.
Just for like a week too. That would be really funny.
Yeah.
Just the Lex event. I'm all down for that. So, of course, Tyra coming in, Inara coming in as well. We're going to see her in-game in just a moment.
Yep.
Check out some of her effects. She's got the treatment. She's got a voice pack we'll listen to. In terms of kind of going with this theme, I mean, what made you guys bring Winter back in July? Just like quickly.
Well, I think, as far as the theme goes, like I said, Direwolf was one of the early ones that we had.
Sure.
As we were looking for a good skin for Inara. Ice was obviously a really strong kind of visual theme, and they just kind of melded kind of together.
Yeah.
It kind of ties in a little bit with the champion we have and just the time of year
Yep.
when you kind of want that big fantasy world and
Yep.
the ice and the things going to it. And then, of course, it's like July. We just celebrated summer. We did all this stuff, but man, it's been so long since we've had that festive, chest, and
That's true.
It just kind of all pulled together.
Yeah,
so.
summer's like hot and like fire, and this is like
we just need to
cold
chill
and
out
like
a little
ice.
bit.
Yeah, you need a cold drink.
ice and fire.
Ice and fire. Okay, I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Man. That'd be a good song one day.
Which is pretty good. So one of the things we know, especially as we go into PTS, there is a bug currently with her wall. It is an ice wall, but there is a bug with that, so that'll be wrapped up later
Wow.
before we go live.
Okay,
So,
great. So that is going to be something. I'm sure everyone's going to be excited. But just looking at what we have here, the standing stone just beautifully displayed, pulsating. You get the frost coming off again. That's my coolest part about it. It looks really cold just watching this.
The
I'm
old looks
freezing.
dope too.
Oh, baby.
That mist that
Yeah.
descends after the impact is so cool. I just like this one a lot because it really emphasizes, because her persona is very motherly and matronly.
Yes.
Beside this, and now it's just like Swap. Polar opposite.
Right.
Like, boom. Malicious Ice Queen.
Mean Queen.
I dig it. Mean Queen.
Mean Queen.
Meme Queen? Question mark?
From Nick?
Memes?
Definitely.
Memes.
Is
What
her
are these
hair,
memes?
is her
I don't
hair
know,
tied
dude.
up in a different way?
I was gonna say that, but
It feels a
I
little
feel like it
different,
sounded
right?
a little weird.
No, it looks a little different.
Ponytail is actually like my favorite part about this skin. I don't
Yeah.
know why.
You can be very confident with your observations over the
That's
hairstyle
actually
of
that's
Inara,
my
okay?
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
she
guess
has a-
that's true. I'm digging Inara's hair.
Yeah, she's got
It
a
is
whole new
very pretty.
hairstyle, a little crown there to kind of go with the theme of the set. So it's nice.
Quick question, because I haven't customized a lot of Inara. Do the stones, those go with the body or with the head? So like if you switch, you customize and mix and match, like
That's with the body.
Okay, with
so,
the body,
Yeah,
okay.
it's tied into her wall and into the different elements. So
got it. I was gonna say if you could bring the head and get the stone, I mean that'd be a cool little look happening there. But yeah, this is the spray is amazing too. Both of the sprays for these champions are out of this world.
yes, definitely. So super glad to.
Are these
have
champion
some mark.
exclusive? Like you only get
Yes,
that spray with
That's-
Inara?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And with the skin, right?
Correct.
Okay. So this is again, if you're rocking the skin, you're gonna have a little bit of a rare spray heading into OB54. The wall is not here, but we have a voice pack that hopefully we'll be able to listen to for Inara. It's the Ice
Them
Walker.
lines.
Inara, the winds of winter howl. If you think this has a happy ending, you haven't been paying attention. I am the queen beyond the wall. We'll stain the snow red with our enemy's blood. They will stain it yellow. Shame.
Dang.
Oh, snap.
She's cold, man.
Can we repeat that shame a
Cold
couple
enough
times?
to-
Just a couple times?
Shame.
Or not. It's cool.
We might not. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll see. They're trying to get it for us.
Shame.
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 Oh my God.
There we go. There
It's
we
that.
go.
That is too good. What is that Jewish? Is that Russian? Is that like a grandmother? That feels like a Jewish Russian
It's Realmish.
grandma. Okay.
It's a Realmish.
Realmish.
It's Realmish. So that's my new response for
Realmish.
everybody talking
Okay.
about like which country or which
Oh, okay.
language and everything else. It's Realmish.
Sure,
So,
Realmish.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just trying. I mean, obviously the realm is different than
Realmland.
the USA or the world, but I was
Very
just trying to,
different,
how can us, just normal humans, compare it to something similar in our own language? That's kind of where I was going, Thomas. But that's okay.
Oh, okay.
Realmish
That's okay.
is
I
fine.
understand.
Yeah. Of course, we've been here at several different patch shows. Last patch, you guys were not privy to a new introduction into the roster for Paladins, but this is not going to be the case for today. You all have been teased a little bit of it. And it's going to be an exciting one to show you all. Of course, the newest champion to be introduced into the realm. It is Leon. Aiko of Scion of House
Scion.
Aiko.
Scion of House
House
Aiko.
Aiko.
God, that is a mouthful, man, but I love it. I love it. And of course, we'll be able to see the graphics for her on screen in just a second.
Yep.
But we have a new champion this patch. What class is she going to be played as?
She's damage.
Damage.
That's right.
Okay.
New damage class coming to the realm.
Bringing the pain.
So let's
Yep.
take a look as we introduce Leon, the Scion of Aiko, the Scion of House Aiko. Let's take a look at her video coming up right now. Ooh.
Fire.
Ooh wee!
Yeah.
That was so hot it actually burned Nick down into
I
his
actually I took
like
off
his
all those
embers.
clothes. I'm a
Yeah.
whole new person.
And exactly.
I feel like a whole new person.
And we got Cret as a result.
What's
How you
up?
doing, James Horgan?
Doing
Designer
pretty
of Paladins, had a big, part to play in terms of bringing Leanne, Scion of House
well, really,
Aiko.
it's the whole team.
Leon,
but,
excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But of course, what I have you here, so I want to talk to you a little
Sure.
bit about this champion. I mean, otherwise, we have Garrett all
Let's
the time.
chat,
Thomas
yeah,
is always
but,
here, so I like these guys.
Yep.
But no, man, I mean, bringing a new damage champion to the realm. You excited about the introduction? Of
I
the role she's
am.
gonna play?
First of all, we wanted to do something a little bit different with a weapon. We know we wanted something medium to long range.
Sure.
We've got Tyra, we've got Victor. They're both the assault rifle type characters. But we wanted to do like a slightly different take, and one of the games that I always loved when I was a kid, Medal of Honor Allied Assault, right?
Oh man,
that M1 Garand, sort of that like semi-auto-ish repeating rifle. That's what she's got. It's a little old school feeling, but It's really cool. It's really strong, and I mean it suits her perfectly, right?
It feels amazing. I've played it.
It's extravagant.
We've play tested it. It feels wonderful. And Thomas, as we take a look at the champion here, we see the crest in the background. I can barely pronounce her title, which lets me think that she's from a very proper place, maybe a high class born damage dealer. I don't know, but give us a little bit of backstory and art style for this champion.
Yeah, so Leon is definitely highborn as it goes. And so she comes from a family that once had a large amount of power, still has quite a bit of power and money in the realm. And she's kind of taken it upon herself. Like, she's the sole heir for this thing. She's taken over for her father. She runs the armies and basically sees it as her destiny to restore her house to its proper point, which is basically controlling everybody else. So, she's definitely dangerous. And as James mentioned, she's got this rifle. She's a great shot with it. She's definitely not a sit back kind of leader. She will lead the charge and do that kind of stuff. But she has a lot of attitude, like a lot of attitude. As you saw in the cinematic, that the team did an amazing job with.
Amazing, yeah.
She just exudes it, and it's one of those things where like it comes across in almost everything she does that she believes that she is better than you.
Yes.
And she's probably right. So it's not just attitude; it's that competency that comes with it. She is all about her rifle, as we'll see with the kit, and as I'm sure James will kind of walk us through. And so she's got this beautiful jeweled golden, kind of rifle with a full crystal barrel. So if you've noticed, we kind of have this thing with crystals with Paladins, right?
There's something going on there.
It's usually around power and how they harness magic and how they deal with these different things. This by far is our largest, kind of most ornate grand crystal that we've put into the realm or shown so far with a champion. And she kind of earns it. Like I said, she kind of stands ahead above everyone.
I mean, in terms of crystal size, this is probably, like you said, the biggest one. I mean, we saw in that trailer earlier that just that small crystal powers up, Bolt.
Well, it's also how you use it.
Okay. So it's not the size of the crystal.
It is the
how
size.
You use it?
It's both.
Okay.
It's used in both. And I mean, I think the big crystal is part of her attitude, right? Like, it's a long rifle. It's good at range, and I love how like obvious that is, right? Like,
yes.
It's clearly something. You look at the gun, you're like, that's medium to long range. The red crystal, this is an uncommon skin.
God.
Yeah, so
and it is beautiful.
Yeah, she's got a couple of common skins, which, as we've kind of talked about before, is basically a color shift. So you can kind of get her in the color of your choice, and then this uncommon skin is just phenomenal. It's just beautiful.
The red crystal is, oh my God.
No, I don't want to make any assumptions, but the bird that I'm seeing there, is that part of the symbol of House Aiko? Or?
It is. It's part of the family crest.
Okay.
The phoenix is represented there. It's also a sigil you'll kind of see within her abilities that you saw within her cards as well, that Nick and the 2D team has put together. So it's a kind of a recurring theme, and it definitely is what represents her house, which is what she essentially is doing.
Well, that's fantastic. And just looking at the other recolor here to finalize just her options to start out in the realm. And she's got plenty to look very, very good in. Garrett, Thomas said that this was a champion that probably thinks she's better than you and is. Was your intention kind of, obviously overseeing Paladins here, to make a champion that could fit in the damage role and really excel as a new introduction into the realm?
Absolutely. We want all of our champions to excel in our game. She is by far one of the most fun to play. Oh, she is great at acquiring targets, taking down characters in the air. She has a really fun time just kind of getting that repeating rifle experience. Pop, pop, pop. It's not that full automatic like James was talking about.
Right.
So learning that pattern, hitting those shots is a very rewarding experience. It's very strong.
And James, you spent a lot of time with the weapon, obviously. There's a lot of iterations. You settled, I know what you settled on. Any reason you settled on it, the way you settled on it,
Yeah,
why?
we looked at a lot of different stuff. One of the earliest things I wanted to do, and maybe we could come back to it, but it didn't really pan out for this character, was looking at like having a really faster fire rate, right? And then being like, okay, well, there's recoil, so maybe you don't want to fire that fast. Maybe you want to take some time to aim and think about it. This character, it's about a 0.45, a little bit faster than Androxus.
And that's fast. Androxus is pretty fast.
It is pretty quick. It's a rifle. It is not it's semi-automatic, but like it fires over and over. This is a very expensive gun. They know how to use their crystals.
Yeah, she's shooting it with one hand. I mean, this is like she's either so strong,
she's
or this
strong.
is, that's what the high class get. They get the one-handed rifles.
That's
which
right.
Is like
Pilates
they don't keep this for a normal
CrossFit.
Pilates, yoga. You have to do
probably the
exactly.
You know
the
what? She goes to yoga classes with Summer Cassie. That's what it is.
You got to do the extensions, and if you get a belly like that, hey, it's worth it.
That's right.
You guys are killing me.
Well, I'm sorry, man. But, I do want to talk about her personality a little bit, because the easiest thing about this character out of everything, and there were definitely some stuff we had more difficulty on, like finding the weapon and how to do the semi-automatic thing the right way. I think we got a good result. It took a few tries to figure out what we wanted, but in her voice pack, the directed taunts, like when you kill specific characters,
right,
that was the easiest thing, because she just talks mad shit.
Yes. And she's open about it. She knows it.
She's better
than you.
Yeah,
and she believes it.
Yeah, that attitude by far, I think, is one of the things that carries throughout our theme. We wanted to basically, her code name was Princess, right?
Sure.
And so we are bringing our princess to the realm, but she's not a pushover. She's not waiting to be rescued. She's not doing that kind of stuff. Like, she's leading the charge. And
she's kicking down doors.
Yeah, they showed the emotes as well as we were talking and stuff, and you can just the attitude that the animators have been able to kind of pull out of her and within the voice lines and stuff is just, it's awesome. So she's full power.
What's so interesting is that, like you said, I think this is an admirable quality of believing you're the best and just going out there and even taunting, no matter what happens, having that high level of confidence. This is a pretty cool character for people to get into and play. It's kind of like an embodiment of what I think a lot of us would love to do on a more of a regular basis, have this insane confidence.
Oh, that reload.
Yeah, I love the action and the reload on this rifle. It just feels like it's got mad impact, right?
Yeah,
satisfying.
This was a great job. Davey from the concept side, all the way through Adam, who's our lead weapon artist, worked on this one, and then Daniel on the animation side. Like, they did a really good job of kind of selling this. And like I said, it's one of our, for the rifle, like getting that to feel good with that pace of fire. And then one of the big things that we were talking about earlier is the expense of this, right? And then the crystal and selling the power for it. This is one of our first crystals that's not just focusing the energy, but it's actually internally focusing that energy and using a cooldown for that reload.
The way the light travels down the barrel and refracts throughout the crystal it's amazing.
Well, just wait till you see the abilities. I mean, that's one of my favorite part. And the thing is, she's, we've mentioned two things over and over, right? She's from this noble house, and she's got a rifle. And, like, that's kind of her thing, right? She's got this awesome rifle, and she knows how to put it to use. Let's take a look at the right click. And you can actually see that this shot, it's sort of like, it's like an AoE shot. You're going to hit everyone in front of you and just deal some nice meaty damage. And it's, functionally, it's a weapon hit, right? Like, it's not going to headshot, but you're going to apply Cauterize. You're going to apply Wrecker. It's going to act as if it was just shooting your gun, with the exception of using ammo.
Now, you could even go farther back from at least what I've tested, and it's almost, is there a range to this? I mean, pretty much as long as they're in sight.
If you could shoot them, this will hit them too.
Got it.
Right? But so the thing is, it suffers from the same damage fall-off as your normal in-hand does as well.
But the AoE tag of Cauterize is still very, very valuable.
It's going to hit everybody, yeah.
That's great. And just with a right click, it seems like it can happen very fast, almost immediately after a shot. Have some burst potential there. Not a huge amount of damage, but
we made sure to pace it so that there's some time before the shot and some time after.
Got it.
So it's not just like a flat burst. Like, Cassie, when you left click then blast shot, like that's instant. That's the same time. There's a little bit of delay, but yeah, using this ability for burst damage, that's bread and butter of the character.
Well, James, I want to allow you to kind of speak about whichever you feel is more pertinent first. I mean, we have the Q, the F to go into. We've talked a little bit about the right mouse button called Valor. What do you want to show here?
Well, I mean, she's got a lot of great qualities.
We've seen her Valor. Skills, not anything else, man.
But like we've seen her Valor, right? This is a right click Valor. Let's talk about her presence, which extends far across the realm. Wow. So, young cameraman, if you could please walk far away from the victors for me, and then use presence.
Go forth.
Young cameraman.
Into the realm.
Yeah, that's young with a U. And go ahead and use
like
presence.
Thug or
You're mine.
Okay, try and hit
James,
it.
you made an ability to... No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so this shot does not have damage fall off, right? It has all of the other qualities that right-click does. You are going to apply Cauterize with this.
Wow.
You are going to apply Wrecker. And it is long range, but there's no damage fall off. So this is sort of your snipe, right? There's a Kinessa sniping to you. You've got one shot to fire back. It's pretty good damage here, but it is a little hard to hit. It's got that little wind up on it as she powers up her rifle, and I mean, Thomas, tell me about this animation, these VFX, because it is magic.
Well, I think this is like...
Well, it's literally not magic, but...
Is it? I don't know. Yeah,
well,
could be.
There's some magic involved. But I think like one of the things, and James hit on it earlier, is the rifle, the gunplay, right, is the thing thematically from a gameplay standpoint for this character, and so that's where a lot of our focus on the art side came in as well. And so what you'll see is this kind of escalation of the different shots. And so you've got the left click, you've got the right click, which has that kind of broader over the outside of the barrel kind of feel to help kind of sell what's happening with that. And then with this one, you're starting to see kind of like a bigger, broader buildup. And if you look, there's like a little like crest kind of thing that starts to form in there. And as we kind of go to some of the other abilities, I think you'll see that build up all the way up to her ultimate.
Maybe a little bit.
The other thing I do want to mention here, guys, going great. I love the pace. This can also pierce enemies, which is something we didn't mention. But it can go. That's the right mouse button. That's Valor. But this presence can shoot through anyone that is.
That's
getting hit by
right.
it.
So if there is a front line, granted, it will not go through shields.
No shields.
It will hit the shields. It'll apply Wrecker if you've got it, but it won't go through. But if there's a front line trying to physically block you to protect his Kinessa, let's pick on her today, right?
Next time you see
You're gonna shoot right through him. You're gonna hit that Kinessa anyway. And boom, double.
A great kind of analogy you gave to me earlier was that this works kind of like Fernando's Fireball.
Yeah.
So essentially, it's going to go through. It's going to act the same way. It'll stop on a shield. It'll pass through the targets.
Well, but here's the other thing that actually probably should have mentioned earlier, right? Like, can we turn off the cooldown cheat? Because it's got a half-second windup, right?
Sure.
It's a little harder to hit. If you miss...
Yeah,
he's actually got a card going, but if you miss, you're going to incur a 15-second cooldown.
Wow.
Yeah, so like this ability is very important. It's your biggest source of burst damage. Don't miss.
Yeah, and there's some legendaries that can support more of a longer range play style for her as we get into that. Of course, the F, what we haven't talked about. I guess this is, do you want to intro this one? Her quality?
Garrett, you haven't talked that much. Take the F.
That's okay. That's okay. Great.
So this is one of the coolest looking movement abilities I think we have yet. It is a 8-way directional on a horizontal plane dash with an offensive thing wrapped into the whole effect of it. So if you do it and kind of angle left, I think we get the coolest anim.
Yes. So just hold left,
or straight,
and
all right,
press
you're gonna
F.
go into a wall.
Yeah. So go.
There are many of you. Good.
All right. Well, what happens is when you do this dash, it is a very quick in-combat directional dash. So she does have that very similar nature to Cassie, but the way the character slides across the ground, and then mid-dash, she fires off a shot.
Yes.
And this shot applies to the closest target, and just like the other abilities that James has kind of constructed here, it all applies the same in-hand effects just because it's all this character's like super ornate rifle is like the whole center point, and it just hits every ability like that and kind of plays off these weapon effects, these in-hand effects. Yeah, there we go.
Amazing.
That slide is so cool.
Cool.
It's really nice. Like I'm a big Cassie fan, and so like this part of the kit I really appreciate. So it kind of makes me feel at home as far as my play style. And then as we mentioned earlier, I mean she's just punishing you with every ability and everything. She's always firing, always shooting.
Everything that she does, I mean the F, the right mouse button, and combined with her left mouse button, which got a decent clip of ammo, is 8, does decent damage, decent fire rate. I mean she can keep up the DPS quite often, and that is, I think, probably.
But you
one of
gotta
her
use
strengths.
it, right? Like you gotta use all of your tools to really find those kills, because she's a little balanced in that respect, right? Like she's got 3 damaging abilities so far, but like you're really gonna find your success. Bomb King's stoked. He's excited for this.
Yeah.
You're gonna find your success when you're using your weapon shots and your abilities in combination. That's really the meat of the character here.
Having
look at that.
Play just a little bit of Princess here and there. Excuse me, Leon here and there. I feel like the combos are a very big key to kind of mastering her, learning how to combo that damage, burst targets down effectively, when and where and how. It's going to be a really exciting task for high-level players and casual players alike when she shows up in OB54. Of course, we haven't gotten to the final taste of what she's going to be able to offer us in her kit. It's the ultimate.
This is where she's like really better than you.
Okay.
Nice. I liked it.
No
so this is Enlightenment. It is her ultimate, and well, let's just let it speak for herself.
Sure.
Kneel.
Boom.
Kneel.
So 1 second delay. Fire a big projectile that's sort of like the embodiment of your noble spirit, would you say, Thomas?
Yes, I would say exactly that. The embodiment of my noble spirit.
That's right. It's the embodiment of his noble spirit that you're going to fire at these targets. And so here's the thing. If you actually get a kill with this ultimate, go ahead and show us that.
Kneel.
Okay, you got the energy cheat on.
Yeah. If you do take the energy cheat off, what you were going to say is what? What does she get if she gets a kill?
Yeah, so if you get a kill with this ultimate, what's going to happen is you actually get a 50% refund on that ability.
What?
But
That's right.
I'm just kidding.
Double down.
That's good. That's really good.
Damage immune during the cast.
So wait, did damage immune? That means like
Can't take damage.
She can't.
You're
die.
better than everybody for that moment.
Is she CC immune too?
Yes.
So when she presses E, nothing can happen except her doing damage to you.
For 1 second, you win the game.
So if a grumpy bomb
I mean,
goes
that's the
through,
power of nobility, right?
I want to be noble. Can I be noble?
Yeah, and look at that. So there's the 50%, right? And you're going to get that as long as you fire that shot. If you miss out, then you're going to have to do the full recharge.
So, I mean, this is such an interesting dynamic as well, because when you follow something up like that with a presence, I mean, you're talking about a good chunk of damage onto a maybe very susceptible group of enemies.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think like one of the things we've concentrated on, because it is a very powerful ability, is making sure that it's messaged properly, right, to the other people. And so if she'll fire without an enemy there, you can kind of see a little bit more of just the clean messaging. But she floats up in the air, right? A huge different stance, like you said, like as far as the one-hand kind of fire. You see the energy pull around her, and then that house crest, that phoenix, makes another return, where it is the projectile that's moving down and across this. It is playing against her. It is really, really obvious when she goes into this, and really hard to miss when that's coming at you.
I wonder.
Yeah, and that's where you gotta like use your movement abilities, right? Or if you put up a shield, if it hits a shield, it's done, right? It's going to do damage to the shield.
Wow.
It's not going to go through it. Androxus reversal, Zen counter. So there is literal counterplay.
Yeah, literally. With the counter.
If you're prepared, if you're ready.
And, you know, if you're not ready, that's kind of on you. But it seems like there's a lot of payoff for doing things the right way.
Yeah.
And a lot of potential kind of like, oh, man, I got to wait till I get all my stuff back. If you waste some cooldowns. And this seems to be...
missing your Q is heartbreaking.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be really part of the intention of the champion, the high payoff if you're able to execute it well. But also, you know, making sure that people can't get the most out of her unless they really put the time in.
Yeah, well, you know, if you use Valor, Grace, and Presence correctly, then maybe you can reach Enlightenment.
Maybe you can. Is that the key to success?
That's
the three pillars of success, ladies and gentlemen, by James Horgan. Let's listen to the voice lines for Leon and see how the Scion of House Aiko talks in the realm.
I had respect for you, Ash, but I've been wrong before. Leon, this is a battlefield. No place for you, old man. Go back to your books, where you're safe.
Oh, that's a directed taunt.
Valor,
Torval.
grace, and presence. I am an artist. The blood of my enemies is paint, the battlefield my canvas.
Ooh.
A solemn reminder, even great houses can fall. Tonight I dine in luxury. I don't know about the rest of you. Some lead with an open palm. I lead with a fist.
She's all business.
It's so interesting. Listening to that, I get the image of someone who is doing a duty, fulfilling a duty almost, to be at her level. It's almost like I was given this is falling on my shoulders. I have to be the best, and I have to do this for my house. And
I agree.
It's really, you know, it's not even anything personal. It's like, hey, go back to your books where you're safe, because you're not safe here, because I'll take you down if you get in my way. So I really like the way that the voice kind of portrays this. It's almost this duality between what she's doing and maybe what she might feel on the inside, and you know, kind of, you know, duty and all that.
Yeah, it's a sense of purpose, sense of honor with her.
Yeah.
You know, she's not evil or doing it, you know, for kicks or enjoyment. She's doing it because she feels it's necessary. And at the end of the day, if you come between her and the goal, which is to represent her house and to restore what she feels is the rightful place for that house and her in power, you're going to be in trouble.
She's going to put you in the ground.
She is.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love
the big fireball.
I gotta say,
She kind of reminds me of like a Superman attitude almost.
does she really? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like when in the Batman movie where he was like, if I wanted you dead, you'd be dead already type of thing. Where
Yeah,
he's
'cause
not like, I'm not here to kill you. I'm not like a bad dude just trying to slaughter everyone, but I got this thing I'm doing. If you're in the way, you're in the way, champ.
I mean, the thing is too with Superman, like, he has to have that attitude, otherwise he just makes no sense, because he just could beat everybody. He's just, take him into outer
He's a
space and
Superman.
just beat him. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Superman
It's
is
like
a little
Princess
OP.
All,
He's
except
really
it's
OP.
all the time.
Yeah, like
He's
he has to
damaging
have
me
acceptance.
at 100, like the whole game.
It's like there is no counterplay to Superman, essentially, if he doesn't want there to be, I'm not even sure how fighting games get away with it because I'm like...
Somewhere Drybear's in his office going, damage immune all the time.
Oh, man. So, Nick, welcome back. Obviously, we're going to talk balance and stuff, but we still have one more thing to get into before we actually do that. We're going to be seeing actually some adjustments coming up in Paladins and OB54, some of the economy systems in place currently. Obviously, Garrett, you kind of want to mention a little bit on that, and so I'll just kind of leave the floor to you to generally give an overview of what's going to be going down.
Sure. For super high level, because we went into detail yesterday on the dev insights, if you were fortunate enough to tune in and kind of hang out with us. But high level is that we're kind of going to shift around some of the time expenditures for our players in regards to getting essence, getting gold, that those systems. The biggest takeaway is that progressing through your cards, getting cards is going to be a lot easier for all of our players. You're going to need a lot more essence. We're increasing some gold rewards as well. There is also an increase to some cosmetic costs and our champion costs to kind of offset this balance. However, progressing through and unlocking all of your decks and creating loadouts is going to be much, much easier. You're going to be leveling faster as well. So take a look at the patch notes, guys. Take a look at the numbers and analyze it for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, on forums.paladins.com is where you can find all the detailed information and see exactly what's going down. But make sure you take a look at that after they go live here, after the patch notes is done airing. And of course, now that leads us to our balance section. Now, before we get into it and Nick and I do our thing over here, of course, we have some time set aside. I didn't forget you, baby. I got dinner reservations for us. It's right after Garrett talks. Don't worry.
Yeah, we actually do
Fry
have
time?
dinner reservations.
Yeah, exactly.
We do.
Dinner reservations. So we are going to be making some balance and changes as well that I think we want to preface with an overarching view of kind of the direction where it's going. We saw in OB53 some more general directions of taking Paladins with the balance and some things, and so I think we're seeing a continuation of that here.
Exactly. Yeah. Currently in Paladins, everyone knows Legendaries are a really big part of our system, our progression, our gameplay. It's a facet that is affected by all the other avenues that we have in our title.
Yeah.
Currently, there are three Legendaries for every character, some that are very fun, rewarding to pick, and some that are picked less often. This patch, we've done a pretty broad sweep on taking the ones that are picked less, empowering them or reworking them in order to be just a better option for the other two. And then also we have taken some of the overly picked ones or the overly strong ones and either adjusted them or reworked them entirely.
Okay.
And then the theme with a lot of the reworks actually has been centered around the hypermobility legendaries. What we're doing at a high level is essentially trying to make sure our game is fun for all of our users, and we've got a lot of feedback and a lot of product research that some of these egregious hypermobility legendaries are creating a lot of unfun experiences for our players. And we highly value the player experience of our people playing the characters. Then also we highly value the experience of the people playing against them.
Right.
As long as these are both fun, it creates a very cohesive and successful title.
Yeah.
And these legendary changes, are in regards to creating a healthier game state, and also about creating it's still strong and important decisions and options in these legendary selections.
Sure.
Which I'll let you guys do the details.
Absolutely. And to me, healthier game state, I look at something like, more of like a Torval, for example, where how he was prior was very difficult to balance because of how he kind of fit outside of this schema of where everyone else fit, and now it's allowed for other things to happen that will bring Torval or decisions around Torval to, I think, kind of be more in alignment as we move forward for the direction of Paladins in general.
Yes, he's a very polarizing character.
Sure.
Just as some of these movement abilities are extremely polarizing, or movement legendaries, excuse me.
All right. Well, it's time for the do.
Let's do it.
It's time to do the do. Come on, baby.
Christmas has come early, folks.
He was waiting the entire show.
Oh, God.
The entire show.
I would say, what are you pregnant pausing for, Nick? What's really happening here? And now I see it. Well, I'm playing the heel right now. I'm just helping you.
Do you guys want to know how many ugly Christmas sweater contests I've won in this bad boy?
How many?
Two.
That's 2 for 2.
100% win rate, the most OP sweater in the realm.
Who goes to 2 ugly Christmas sweater parties?
One a year.
But what I'm saying is, like, that's like a thing you do all the time, or that's like a thing you do once. I feel like 2 is like just kind of a weird
I went
number.
Last Christmas and the Christmas before.
And so you're going this Christmas?
Maybe.
Well, you better.
If it lines up.
If you just
if
say
it's in the cards.
Yeah, okay. Maybe you're trying to keep your record. You're like Floyd Mayweather out here.
3 times. Right now I'm the 2-time ugly Christmas sweater champ.
He's a god, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into the balance changes.
2015, 2016.
Let's break this down.
Back-to-back 2-time.
That's something to definitely hold your head high on.
Trying to make it 3.
Yeah.
All right, let's rock.
Let's rock, man. Let's take a look at Androxus first coming up with his balance changes. Androxus, he is going to see some general reductions, and not reductions, in fixed reload speed on Steam Demon Compressor Weapon where the camera would zoom in. We're seeing a fix there, and a lot of people asked for that. Fixed us also a Steam Demon ult impact effects that sometimes appearing incorrect in dark areas. So just some effects and some cleanup there around the Steam Demon.
But this is the big one.
Skin. This one is Dark Stalker, the legendary that used to grant Androxus 3 separate dashes that were no longer linked, and again was a hypermobility legendary Garrett mentioned.
Yep.
This is getting reworked. So this legendary will now allow Androxus to deal 30% more damage to enemies below 40% health.
Like you said, this was one of the most egregious legendaries in terms of the mobility and the frustration, and I mean, it's near and dear to my heart. All my favorite characters are the highly mobile ones.
Sure.
But this is definitely brings another interesting element to it, and tanks are very strong right now, and this is a very good legendary to take against tanks.
When you think about this, he shoots for 600. He shoots fast. This is 30% more damage than that. It's basically shooting for 800 damage fast, like Androxus, whenever somebody drops a little bit below half health. I mean, this is a big finisher. This could change a little bit of, obviously he's going to be serving a different role, but there are a lot of people who took Godslayer as well, weren't playing with the link dashes. I mean, this is a very, I think, valuable choice.
Indeed. And there is still ways to have a pretty high amount of mobility with Godslayer and with cards and stuff. It's
absolutely.
Not on Darkstalker anymore.
All right, so that is the change for Darkstalker. Let's move it along. He's also had a revolver fix, a bug that allowed Androxus to headshot for 901 damage at some ranges.
I was tripping so hard when that happened to me. I kept shooting for like 601. I was like, did we just like buff him 1 damage?
I don't know. That's what you wanted for
That's why I was trolling about Lex, but it actually happened in the game.
So that's been fixed, so you can't do that anymore.
Little fix.
Too bad. Too bad. That 1 damage might have changed the game.
Maybe.
Might have made the difference.
Maybe, baby.
All right, it's Ashe time. Let's get into Ashe. She's got some changes to her burst cannon. Your projectiles will now automatically detonate further from enemies. A little bit of a dev comment here. After the range increases in OB53, Ashe's weapon was feeling less like a flak cannon. Now your flak projectiles will burst in the air when close to enemies, bringing the weapon more in line with its intended direction and feel. She's also seeing Fortress Breaker, giving her an increased size of her shield by 50%. So the shield with that legendary, I believe, getting 50% larger if you decide to go that route.
Yep, so this is the legendary that was taking a little bit less off. The Shoulder Bash one was the most popular, I think, of the 3, and this one because her shield is small, but it does move, so it has that kind of element to it. So this will be pretty interesting to see if you want to go, like if you're a solo tank Ashe, this will be kind of something I think you want to look at.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be very, very cool. She got a lot of cool cards that interact with her shield as well. After the kinetic burst, you can reduce the cooldown of like up to 4 seconds or something, I think, and get it right back up.
You can get it very quickly.
Very, very quickly. So that's going to be an exciting change for her and open up some more defensive ways for Ashe to be played.
I might try some Barrack with
now,
this change.
Now, Barrack. Big old Daddy Barrack. Barrack. Cream gravy. He's going to be getting
a lot of people that wanted this, man.
A change to the legendary Tinkerin. This will be getting reworked, allowing a Barrack's blunderbuss to be modified to fire not a blunderbuss of pellets, but a single slug that deals 650 damage.
Yep. This might be what makes
Smidgen like Cassie.
Smidgen might come back to Paladins, competitive Paladins, because of this change. I'd be very interested to see.
Homie swinging like Cassie out here with the bow. Who would have thought? I mean, engineering is a very good degree to get. I mean, I'm not going to lie.
It pays off.
It does pay off.
And it has for Barrack.
Wow. Barrack stuck in the long haul. He gets a big-time one. Of course, that means no architectonics. So there's still that payoff. You're going to have to, leave for some of the more popular legendaries, but this should bring one of his less chosen choices a little bit up in terms of value. Moving on, we've got Buck. Bounce House. This is another hyper-mobility legendary that's seeing a rework this patch. Yeah. Heroic Leap no longer will deal damage in general. But if you choose Bounce House Heroic Leap will now deal 450 damage and knock up enemies within 35 feet of where you land.
Yep, so this is another one of those gross mobility cards, giving the 2 charges and allowed Buck to have a ton of mobility. But I will say one thing that I noticed when playtesting this, over time with Bounce House, we were slowly increasing the cooldown of the charge, and that's actually kind of what Bounce House did. It gave you the charges, but it increased the cooldown by 2 seconds. With this, in combination with Chronos and cooldown cards, I really felt like I had my leap every time I needed it almost. It wasn't like that big of a thing, and also the knockup is really big for confirming your combo after landing that first shot.
That's actually true, and that little bit of CC throws somebody off, just puts them in, throws off their plan, and especially now within 35 feet around you, I mean, you can get a lot of people up in that knockup.
Yeah. A lot can happen in a high-level game in a 1-second knockup.
A lot can happen when Bug jumps on you.
Yep.
You know, a lot can happen. A lot of stories come from that. You know, I don't know whether they're good or bad, but a lot of stories. He's also seeing an increase to his other legendary, Ensnare. Ensnare actually getting an increased bonus damage benefit from 40% to 60% now. So a 20% increase, effectively like a for this legendary that allows you to basically
really good.
Shoot. And the legendary is you shoot your net shot and you gain bonus damage.
I think they reworked the tooltip as well. For it's 60% bonus damage for as long as they are slowed.
Yes.
Which is a really cool thing that can actually be modified with cards as well to be slowed for longer, so you can use that bonus damage longer. I think this is going to be a very viable option now.
And just a quick note, there is a card, Exhilarate, that actually allows you to heal up off of the enemies that you land on. However, that has a radius increase from 25 to 35 because now, you know, his leap is 35, the new knockup is 35, so it's just matching that, essentially.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, that is Buck. Those are the changes for him. Moving on to Bomb King. He's getting some changes here as well. Accelerant. Hypermobility, I think you think of hypermobility when you think of Accelerant here. He's a damage champion. He's not a flanker last time I checked, and he was kind of playing like one. So there's a rework to Accelerant. Accelerant will now accelerate the speed at which your Grumpy Bomb explodes, making it explode 50% faster. That means that bomb comes out, you have a second and a half to get away before you're stunned.
Definitely. Grumpy Bomb is one of those abilities that before I would always say, like in a cast and stuff, if you get hit by a Grumpy Bomb, it's your fault. There's no such thing as a Grumpy Bomb that is so good that forces you to get hit by it. Not the case with this legendary. I was getting hit by him left, right, and center, partially because my muscle memory is still, when I hear Grumpy Bomb, I'm like, all right, I got 3 seconds to get out of here, but it would just blow up so much quicker, and it's pretty nuts to play against.
So this obviously gives him some more crowd control, you know, that's what he brings to the table, in my opinion. Bomb King is
the biggest thing for me is there is a Grumpy Bomb placed properly enough that will stun an enemy.
Yeah, so high skill can still
you can place a Grumpy Bomb correctly now, or in such a good spot that they will get hit by it.
Well, Nick gives his sign of pretty hair approval there. You should make a stamp. Pretty hair approval stamp. You should bring that on the next patch notes and just stamp off the ones you like. Demolition. Let's talk about this legendary. A lot of people saw potential in this. I've made a couple videos on it. A couple pros have remarked, hey, if this actually stunned through shields, it would be pretty good. Well, now it does. Demolition allows the Grumpy Bomb effects to stun through shields as well as destroy all of them. Dome Shield from Barrack, 20,000 shielding. One Grumpy Bomb taken away and stun anyone inside. So that is pretty powerful.
Before, it was good at doing its job, right? But at the end of the day, it's like you just kind of put a shield in between your team and the Grumpy Bomb, and you don't have to give up that positioning. You just forfeit one shield, which it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the team fight even. But now it's like you got to clear the area.
You have to move.
Everyone's dead in this area in the next 3 seconds.
Again, you're not taking chain reaction, but really they're legendaries that are kind of promoting this kind of crowd control orientation that Bomb King has as a damage champion.
Time to compete. And these other legendaries are stepping their game up.
They're really, really jumping up, man. I'm definitely going to play some time with that and see how that works out in live. Now, Cassie, let's move on to the Big C, the Hunter's Daughter. She's seeing a change to the Impulse legendary, and a good change. She's reducing the cooldown of Blast Shot by 2 seconds when she takes this legendary. So not only will you do 300 damage, 2-second reduction in cooldown.
This is an easy legendary to use. I think most of Cassie's legendaries, this one in particular, has a hard time competing with Exaction just because of the amount of uptime you can get on Exaction with certain cards in your loadout. So this should help it be a little bit more competitive, get it closer to that uptime that Exaction can be pulled off with.
Now, here's another change. Big Game, her legendary, another often underutilized, skill-oriented legendaries, getting an adjustment to allow for Cassie, after hitting an enemy with her disengage, subsequent shots will now deal an additional 5% of their maximum health in damage for 6 seconds afterwards.
Another big tank shredder option here. The thing With Disengage, it's a way longer cooldown, but the payoff for this was high always, but it's tough to pull off because you had to hit them while they were in the air, meaning it was tough to do from far away.
Yeah.
If the tank, ideally, which is who you're going after with this Legendary, used their any movement ability, they would pretty much just rocket straight back down to the ground, effectively cutting down that window you had to use this Legendary. Now you just got to land the Disengage, and they get basically a 6-second debuff where they're going to take percentage-based damage, which is really cool, really good for shredding tanks.
Still got to do the high skill cap thing of hitting the Disengage.
Yeah, it's still the long cooldown, right? And it's still probably her slowest projectile.
I mean, just more of a benefit, right?
Yep.
It's good. It's good. Moving on to Drogos. The Dragon in the Sky. Wormjets is seeing a reduction in the flight speed it will add to you, giving you only 40% now instead of 65%, which is where it came from. So a little bit of a reduction in what is a very solid kind of niche pick for certain maps for Drogos that allows him to have very, very, very strong mobility.
Yeah, the Wormjets was kind of on the up and up. Combustible, at least from our point of view, was kind of where most people were at. I know Lazy was really liking this one in terms of just moving around the map. Stolzy was a big guy using a lot of Wormjets, and we just took a couple of boosters off that jetpack. He's going to go a little bit slower now, a little bit less gross mobility.
40% still pretty solid, though. I'm not going to lie. That's still pretty solid. So definitely give that a try yourself. Try before you buy. I really think that that's not going to be too bad. Edie. She's seeing a couple of reworks here. And let's first talk about Over the Moon. Over the Moon, seeing a rework. This is her Soar Legendary, allows her the reduction of Soar by 5 seconds. So you pretty much can like blink and soar and blink and soar. That's seeing a additional 20% damage given to Eevee. So kind of like her bonus damage back.
Like the combo, right.
For after 3 seconds when Soar ends.
And it's about 2 shots.
Kind of like the bonus damage back.
Yeah, it's kind of like the combo.
Right.
And this is almost if I'm not using it to escape, Soar's really good to just track people down. You just kind of get right up in their face and just start holding left click, and that shot's going to come out. Hit real hard.
It's really interesting. I don't know. There's a lot of times I finish off somebody in Soar, like the shot
and
in
the
Soar.
big thing is there's a card, actually. It's high risk, high reward, but this card, when you get a kill, you drastically reduce the cooldown of Soar depending on where you're at. And this Legendary is going to help you secure kills because you're going to be hitting harder than basically anyone on the field.
A lot of interesting opening up. And again, this is the Legendary that was never seen in competitive. And I think,
Except for Runna. He did it once. You got to give him credit.
Shout-outs to Runna.
Shout-outs to Runna.
Shout-outs to keep running.
He did it once.
Haven't seen him since, so he must have just kept running. Let's take a look at her other changes here as well. Reprieve.
Yeah.
Seeing a reduction in the healing from 600 health per second to 300 health per second.
Yep. So Reprieve was a very frustrating Legendary to play against because Eevee's she's a tough character to lock down, right? And having that safety panic bid reg button where you just get a full heal and then you're gone again. It can be a very frustrating experience. So now still does its job, right? Where it'll heal half your HP now. Not the full heal, but you'll get half of it back, making it a little bit. If you get yourself in a really tight spot, the healing may not be enough now to bail you out.
Okay. All right, so she's still going to get a little bit and maybe have to go into it earlier to get back to that full level of HP. Maybe only drop halfway before jumping it. So different play styles. Teleport. Teleport is seeing a reduction in the value from 25 all the way up to 100%, now scaling only 10% and reaching a maximum of 40% distance for your teleport skill.
Yep, being on a very short cooldown and one of the biggest mobility skills I think in the game in terms of, I don't think you can be crippled out of it as well because it's not technically, you're just blinking all around. Eevee is a very tough character, like we said, to track down, so dropping that mobility a little bit.
All right, so that's it for Eevee, the Winter Witch. Let's take a look at something a little spicier under the sun. Fernando, the Spaniard. The man will be visiting over here in Dreamhack Valencia pretty soon. He's going to see some really interesting changes. He's getting a fireball projectile increase from 140 to 180, and he's seeing the reduction of fireball go down from 9 seconds to 6. 6 seconds only.
It's coming at you faster and more often. The return of Wardoom.
I'm not mad. I'm not mad, amigo. I know Fernando fans are going to be excited about that one.
It's kind of like an indirect buff to Scorch as well, in my opinion.
I mean, I think it's like a direct buff to Scorch, literally. I mean, but it's not actually Scorch. I see what you're saying here. But however, the card, Hot Pursuit, a card a lot of people ran when they were running Scorch, giving him, after he hits a fireball, movement speed so he can stay more mobile. Now that bonus movement speed is only going to last 2 seconds instead of the 3 seconds that it originally did. So get more damage.
Basically does nothing because the uptime is going to be just as good because your cooldown's 3 seconds quicker.
So buff for Fernando, basically.
Yes.
Fernando's good. Okay, here we go. Grover, another champion who's good. This is what I like to see.
I've been loving Grover
He's
recently,
been fun.
man.
We've seen Spunky's become a Grover main. My God, everyone's a Grover main. Grover's like banned.
He's back, dude.
He's
man.
Back. And so is Pip. Pip's doing a little work as well. I'm very surprised at all these things. So congrats to both of these champions who have not been in the limelight very often at the high level. Vine. Fixed Grover moving slower than walking speed if using Vine with the controller. So if you're using Vine with controller, now you get that full normal movement you're expecting. Ferocity, though, giving Grover an increased damage scaling modifier from 30% now 60%. So
I think Grover's going to be like the #1 ban against D69 now.
He already got topped. I want to tell you that Grover's damage, I think, was about 120,000 in one of the ESL games we watched the other day.
He swings.
Granted, I mean, he's played by one of the better players in the world, but
yeah. And the big thing here is giving up deep roots it's tough.
It is tough.
Because if you think about it, when you land deep roots, that's guaranteeing you 2 axes, which is a lot of damage in and of itself.
It's almost not as much damage as you would get off of like the scaling, but maybe it depends. I
actually have no idea.
On Frozen Guard, maybe this is going to be more impactful.
This is like because we see that, and we saw Kanga at HRX pick this up to counter out Kanessa. Now this is going to like 2-shot people from long range.
Exciting. Grover is awesome. I think one of the reasons somebody said I like Grover because of his voice, and I actually totally agree with that. He has an amazing voice.
Okay,
sounds so.
I like him because he's a big ass tree that murders you with an axe.
Anyways, I have a much more delicate reason for liking Grover. Totally. All right. Blossom no longer heals deployables as well. That is a interesting thing to note. Kind of going to hurt his viability with the
other healers couldn't do it.
And
why should he?
You say, good. Yeah, I can't argue with that. Man, that's just solid logic right there.
Balanced logic.
All right, let's move on to Inara. Let's keep going through these guys. Treacherous Ground. This is a legendary that hasn't been used very often. Now, also increases the radius of Warder's Field by 50%. A lot of people have been asking for just a larger Warder's Field in general. Well, you take this legendary, not only cripples, it's way bigger.
Way bigger. And the thing is here is she's got no mobility. She's a very slow character, and this deploys right in front of her. She can't use it at range, so this is definitely going to help this just to have more coverage, more uptime, more scenarios in which it's going to be useful.
Now, Tremors, that's also getting a rework here, and it will reduce the cooldown of Impasse by 80% as long as it is not destroyed. So teams now facing against the Tremors or Nara are either going to have to take the wall,
pick up Bulldozer,
or just have enough damage to really blast through it. Otherwise, she's going to have wall on wall on wall. It's going to be like Chris Brown over here, wall on wall.
It's tough to bring down. There's a lot of HP. There's a lot of cards that do it, as well as Earthen Guard decreases the damage that the deployables take. So the wall takes 50% less damage as well. Or I guess 30 because you've got Tremors now instead of Mother's Grace.
Yeah, that's true. Going to be exciting, though, for Inara and see if some of these different changes to play, maybe a different value with Mother's Grace. Now comparing these two, it's still such a strong legendary.
But you look at Mother's Grace and you're like, these other legendaries have got to step up
they really
to be competitive, and here they are.
She's got some good ones now. We'll see. We'll see how this works out. Lex. We're going to go into the Lawman himself. He's coming into the realm, and he's got a bug fix that caused enemy silhouettes to not properly change colors when Lex's damage fall-off starts. So now you'll be able to be clearer in terms of the enemy silhouettes as to when the damage fall-off is beginning. In Pursuit will also have a description updated to list damage and mention that In Pursuit acts as a weapon attack, giving you, obviously, that just means it's going to apply Cauterize and Wrecker, and all those good types of things like that. Bulldozer, if you do, pick that up. Now, Discovery is the big one. It's going to be seeing a rework. So Discovery used to basically allow everyone on your team to see your Retribution target. Now, Discovery will allow you to deal 20% more damage to your Retribution target and reduce the cooldown of Retribution from 30 seconds to 15 seconds.
Yep, so just reinforcing that bounty hunter style of play, as well as the 15 seconds is the big thing because you'll be able to re-roll your target, who you want to go after, right? Because it is RNG, so you roll it, you get the tank, you get a Nara, you're like, well, whoop-de-doo, I'm never going to be able to get in there and kill her. I need to get this healer, I need to get this flank, I want to have the vision of this guy in particular, just get more of those rolls off.
Man, we get a long
And you'll be able to get 2 in spawn now.
That's pretty cool.
Huge buff.
Huge buff, dude. Before the game starts
and
already.
And the 20% damage. The 20% damage is massive.
That is big.
Because there's cards to get lifesteal against your
already does so much damage. But again, you're giving up Death Hastens, which is like a part of. So, I mean, listen, it's very interesting. There's different play styles, different choices. Choices.
That's the point.
Choices.
Of these changes. Choices.
All right, here we go. Let's move on. Maeve. She's seeing an introduction to a very cool rework of a legendary that was very fun, but not picked up very often, especially at high levels. It's Cat Burglar. This is the one that allows her to triple jump. Now, she's going to be able to not only triple jump, but deal 30% more damage. And actually, I hate that I don't know this. I'm assuming she could still triple jump, but I don't know if this is just only. Let's talk.
I doubt it. I think because it says rework.
Yeah, so it's probably no triple jump anymore. Here's the deal. It's not triple jump. It allows her to deal 30% more damage with her first shots after Prowl. So, Nick, we were kind of going over the numbers. This is actually kind of big.
Boy burst. Yeah, the thing here is this was, because the range on the dash has been cut. This is your kind of like getting out card where you're going to zoom away. The thing about using it this way is it is a big payoff in terms of damage, but it is very loud when you hear it coming from a mile away. So you're going to know she's coming, and it is all tied on those first two knives after Prowl, and that's it. And then that's a big mobility card she used to get in. Now she can still reset and use it to maybe get out, but then you're losing the damage there. So it's a very interesting balance, very all-in card for me.
It's an all-in card because it's also one of her longest cooldown skills as well. Yeah. So to use it actively to do damage and not to escape is definitely a risk. But it could pay off. And again, we mentioned if she shoots for 1,800 normally with 2 knives, 30% is going to put her somewhere around 2,400. 2 knives, just with burst.
She's swinging.
Think about that. She's swinging. All right, here we go. Moving on. Mcculloh, the great one. He is getting CC immunity back, ladies and gentlemen. Your Mcculloh players out there just lost in a sea of Pluck and Half Shell and Leviathan.
You want to charge through those? You want to charge through Grumpies?
Do you want to be CC immune when a Nara goes into her seismic crash? Do you want to avoid a convergence? Well, just pick up Leviathan. Mcculloh will now gain CC immunity with this ultimate when he goes into Ancient Rage and bring back the good old days of the Ancient Rage Eternal, dude.
It brings back the days of not challenging Mcculloh. It's
now
kind of
really
awkward to say you challenge Mcculloh and then gets chain CC to death. Yes, clearly they're going to challenge you, Mcculloh. It's time. He hit the gym. He doesn't care about your grumpy bombs, your seismic crashes, your convergences, none of that.
He's like Dre, man. He went out, for years after dropping the
card. He came back, and
then
now
he's
just jacked.
He's jacked, bro.
He's ready.
He's about to drop. He's been gonna drop an album for like 30 years at this point. I don't know. Will you, Dre? I don't know. Nobody knows.
Right
anymore.
after Half-Life 3.
Yeah, seriously. Maldamba, let's move on to the chain stunning master here. I think he might actually get some new tools to be more effective in doing that as well. Spirit's Chosen. This is a legendary that was not picked up. Rapid Gord was kind of the favorite in the high-level play. Spirit's Chosen, still a good opportunity as well to get healing onto the target that you were healing before. Now, as long as you have healing mending spirits applied to a target, you can get the extra bonus onto the anyone that you heal.
Yep, this is a big thing. It was big feedback I personally heard from Bird, where he was like, sometimes I want to be pocket healing a tank, and good Maldombers will keep this rolling, right? So you're always going to be able to benefit from that 300 flat, but sometimes that's just not how it is. Like, I've healed this guy. He doesn't need the healing anymore. Homeboy over here needs the healing, but because it's still going over here, he's getting the flat 300 bonus.
Right.
Everybody wins.
So you could just get that flat 300, flat 300, flat 300.
So the moral of the story is here, just keep healing. Keep amending spirits up at all times if you're playing Damba.
Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Well, Kono's Wrath as well has been reworked.
Unless you're running this legendary.
And this is the legendary that I think people with deft hands, who if you are particular to buying deft hands, you're going to be even more particular here. Snake Toss now deals an additional 500 damage if you have this legendary. Now, Snake Toss, which used to scale up in damage.
This is a buff to Oolong.
Okay, so many people didn't know this. So basically, as you shoot more of your ammo, your Snake Toss becomes more damaging. It starts at maybe like 200, but if you reload like a full reload, it's about a 500, 550 damage stun. Now, no matter when you reload, it's always 200 damage.
Yeah.
Always. So if you're picking Spirits Chosen, Ripened Gourd, you're just doing 200 damage on the reload. But if you go for this route, you can hit for 700 on these.
The thing was, like, back in the day when Cheese Damba was a thing, people weren't going for that full reload. They were going for the one tosses. One spit and toss, one spit, toss. That's all you were seeing. So now, the buff to Oolong is here. You'll be able to do a little bit more of that. Cuss Cutie, Big Pasta, Noodle Chef.
Free Snake.
Yeah.
Spaghetti. Grind the spaghetti on him. I asked Nick, why is there no Italian dance the other day? Because he was like, I'm a good dancer, Italians, what kind of dancing? And he was like, well, you're right. Now that I think about it,
my mom
Italians
watched our podcast,
dance.
and she hit me with a bunch of links of Italian dances, so I guess I was just
maybe you were just wrong, but he's like, we're not dancing, man. We're back in there grinding the spaghetti for the dancers.
We're feeding the dancers, carbon up.
Grinding the spaghetti. I was just like, I don't know, man. That cannot be a real thing Italians say. We're grinding some spaghetti back there.
Anyway.
It's funny, though. Pip. Acrobatics. This has been the frustration of Vox Tempest and a lot of other people.
Vox is praising the sun right now.
And he is really, really happy. But you don't get to complain when you play Kinessa Vox. That's all I have to say. Acrobatics reworked. No longer will give him double jumping ability. It will now allow crowd control and immunity when you use Weightless, and it will remove any crowd control that you currently had on you.
So it's almost like Artful Dodger in a way.
It's just a crowd control free Weightless, like a CC
beads.
immune Weightless. It's beads.
And I like this a lot more, right? Because this has like practical uses to me, especially with Grumpy Bombs going off, twice as much. Cheese Damba's coming back, stunning everybody with his noodle. It's definitely going to feel more useful. Double jump to me has always been kind of gimmicky.
I didn't realize you had a bird on your shoulder.
I totaled up.
It looked real. Is this stuffed like the turkey in your downstairs thing?
No, this is not a real dove.
Thank God. Oh, God.
Not a real dove.
I had a white bird that
Neither
died
of
when
these
I was a
deers,
child.
though. These are not real deers, just so we can be clear.
Okay, good.
You see these deers?
That's scary. That was my
They're
next
not
question.
real.
That was my next question.
No, they're not real.
So I mean, it's pretty straightforward, but I think it's got some cool implications as well for maybe
for sure.
avoiding some big time stuff that's in the meta right now. Now let's take a look at Ruckus. Ruckus, General. Fixed weapon tracers not appearing correctly in kill cam, so you'll be able to see and track how the Ruckus was shooting when you're, I guess, dead from it. Overdrive.
A familiar feeling.
So I guess this is, I don't see anything mentioned about Recycler being reworked, but I'm assuming this is the rework to Recycler. Overdrive is a legendary that now will deal up to 30% more damage based on your missing health.
Yep, this is a really cool legendary. You're giving up mobility aerial assault to do it, unless this is a rework for aerial assault. I'm not really sure.
I don't know what this is. I personally will get some clarification on that hopefully towards the end of the show when Garrett and them come back on. But what this is going to allow you to do is basically get 30% more damage.
As you get lower,
As you get lower.
And it's a cool thing to do as well, because you can pop your emitter shield, stay at that low HP, but kind of not be at that low HP at the same time. It is a rework for Recycler.
Recycler.
Aerial assault still in the game. We're clear.
Okay.
Bitey almost took all our heads off.
He did.
No, Recycler is going to be replaced with this, and so this is the new default legendary for Ruckus. Lower HP you get, more damage you're going to do. Cool balance with emitter shield, I think, to pop that at low HP and stay at low HP and be much more dangerous, because he's already a really dangerous character, so this will be a really cool balance to strike.
I'm hearing the word dangerous a lot coming from you here.
Dangerous.
Right into the danger zone. Top Gun? Kenny Loggins? All right, never mind. Fuel reserves.
I'm with you, I know.
Okay, you're with me. You know, baby. All right,
we got a lot of changes to get through.
Fuel reserves. This is a card that usually goes in hand with the aerial assault build. Now, this is getting reworked. And it is actually something that was interesting. It was talked about this a while back, but increasing the distance of advance by 7, 14, 21, and 28% instead of reducing the rate of recharge, increasing the rate of recharge's cooldown by 7, 14, 21, 28%. Essentially getting your recharges back 28% faster. Now you just get more distance to your charges.
And in a way, you won't need as many charges of advance because you're going further with each one of them.
Yeah, that's true.
Interesting.
Maybe a lot of people will probably keep that card in their build and just see how it works.
Yeah.
Interesting. Sarris, she's got a couple of changes as well. The Oracle of the Abyss. You'll be seeing a remote proximity distance increase from 2.5 to 3. Nick, what does that mean?
So basically, the old Sarris, like her orbs, basically like how big, just think of a sphere moving through the realm. And this sphere was super big. It was 4, and then we cut it down to 2.5 because we made them way quicker. Now we're bringing it a little bit bigger. So you won't have to be as accurate with your orbs.
Cool. Awesome.
That's basically the moral of that story.
Cool. Okay. Great. Moving on, we've got Shaolin here, almost wrapping things up with the changes. There's a lot. Thanks for hanging with us here. Of course, Planet. We've actually got a description update to mention that Planet acts as a weapon attack. So applying Cauterize, applying Record, just letting people know in the description that it is a weapon attack. Desert Shadow. Here's a change, an adjustment to the legendary. It's also now, instead of applying 5 seconds of stealth duration after withdraw for Shaolin, it's going to increase the damage from the shot that breaks stealth, which is by 30%.
Yep.
And in my eyes, I don't know if this is going to apply, but it says damage to shots that break stealth, which means this could maybe apply to his ultimate. Days? Maybe?
They're not technically breaking the stealth.
I mean, he can kind of break stealth like a second. I don't know. Interesting.
Maybe. But the cool thing here is that now you're doing 1,300 damage out of stealth from your withdrawals.
Yes.
And that just puts them at a lower HP so you don't have to draw as much, which is kind of the trade-off for me, right? You're giving up recurve for this, so you're giving up that draw speed legendary, but you won't have to draw as far because they're going to be at a lower HP.
Awesome. And then he's also seeing rework to Shifting Sands, which is the legendary I played a lot. I had a lot of fun. You get 100% lifesteal on the when you're ulting for every weapon shot, but now it will actually reset the cooldown of Planted whenever you kill an enemy. So if you get the last shot on an enemy,
which happens a lot with Planted.
you will be able to reset your planet.
Ready? Ready?
He might be ready all the time. It's like, okay, take
He's
it easy.
ready all the time.
I'll tell you when I'm ready at this point. Take it easy. Go sit down. Shaolin going to be very excited in this patch. So those are the changes for him.
No, these are sweet.
Pretty cool stuff.
This one's a lot of fun. I played this one the other day.
And now moving
Some
on
wild stuff.
to Torval. His direct current legendary, this is affecting his, allowing him to increase the duration of his silence. Now will actually give Runic Blast, his silencing ability, his F skill, an additional 500 damage. So it's going to do 500 damage now.
This is scary because this is an AoE ability. This can hit everyone in front of Torval, and I'm thinking, after a convergence or something, just locking everyone down, making them silenced, alone, afraid, taking 500 damage. It was already like when you silence somebody, it's like kill this person kind of thing. Now they're going to be low HP, and now they're going to be even that much more tasty of a target.
It's working.
It's definitely working.
It's definitely working. So Torval gets some love there.
Now he
Tyra
just needs a skin.
Let's talk about her. Firebomb can deal damage to deployables now. Booyah. Also, Hunting Party increased the value from 15% to 25%.
Yeah. The Firebomb one, I just want to real quick, that's really good for, against Barrack and Ying, of course. It was kind of awkward for those turrets to just be melting and on fire, and the Ying clone, so they're all just chilling, happy, healing their teammates. Now they're all going to be wiped out.
Sure.
100 to 0. Big one here, Hunting Party, 15 to 25. This is definitely, I don't think I've ever seen this legendary used in competitive, in casual, at all.
Yeah.
So it needs some help. This is where you mark the target. Instead of just you getting that bonus damage, your whole team gets the bonus damage against that target, and now it's going to be even higher, 25%.
Yeah.
And I think people got to give this one a fair shake now. With tanks being as strong as they are, you mark somebody, and then all of a sudden they are melting.
Definitely play with it. Definitely play with it. I think, to me, one of these questions is, will it continue to be something that people go for? Because it's that trusting legendary,
it's
right?
Not, yeah,
you
it's
gotta
the selfless
trust
legendary.
that someone else is doing their job.
It's the selfless legendary.
And that they're really benefiting from it, because you can't directly tell right now, how much damage they're doing as a result of you, but it's still going to be very valuable. And if you can notice it, this damage bump might make you notice it. So the TTK changes, you're like, oh yeah, this is working. Last one of the day, ladies and gentlemen, Zin, the counter. Fixed being able to counter Drogo's combustible damage over time. I'm assuming this allows him to not counter it, or allows him to counter it?
Being able to, so I would assume this means he's not able to anymore. And the thing with counter is
he's
it
not
blocks
able to.
one instance
of
damage from the front, unless you're running that legendary, of course.
That's right.
The retaliation boys.
All right, that is all we have for balance today. Nick,
Christmas came early.
I'm so glad it's a weekend, because, man, we just worked like a 40-hour week right there. And now, to welcome back to the show, we've got High Res Martini and High Res Alyssa. Hey. Show some love, guys, in the live crowd. How you doing?
Come out from behind the tree, Alyssa. Come out from the woods.
Yes. Hey, she did have a cap. You said she only had these. Did she fool you? Did she not wear the cap? And you're
I
like,
got you baited.
What?
Wow.
Well, you said you had some props, and I was like, no one upstages my outfit on the Patch Note show. But I didn't know these were the props.
He's very competitive.
She might have got you.
He's very competitive. He busted the sweater out. Okay.
I brought a
Everyone's
tree.
outfit is very nice. Good job, guys. You did amazing.
Thank you, Gary.
You did amazing.
Thank you.
All right, so as I get this run of show back here, so we could figure out what we're going to talk about, we've got a couple of sales, some cool things.
Yeah.
Alyssa, you're gonna bring to our attention?
Yeah, I'm here to talk about some sales and events we have going on in the community right now. So today through Sunday, the Flare Chest is 30% off,
Fantastic.
which is pretty awesome. It's only 35 crystals right now, and this isn't a sale we do very often, so be sure to grab some of those emotes and MVP poses while you can. Pretty cool.
Lovely. That sounds so good. And 30% off. Is it just for the weekend?
Yes, only through Sunday. So
Make it happen.
Yeah.
Super cheap.
We have another thing as well.
35 crystals, you say.
only 35.
Wow,
Usually
that
it's
lines
50,
up perfectly with the amount of the Day 7 login reward bonus.
That is true.
Did you plan that?
Not quite.
No.
Yeah, so
Definitely no.
the other thing that we've got is Realm Pack.
Yes, the
That
Realm
great
Pack.
deal.
So PlayStation 4 and Xbox One just got the new patch, or 53. So the Realm Pack is still available on PC, and now it's available on Xbox One as well. PlayStation 4 will be getting the Realm Pack pretty soon. So this is a really great deal. It's $5 US. You get the Frostmere mount, 10 Radiant chests, 2 Flare chests, and a 7-day booster. So that's a lot of stuff.
Pretty exciting.
For $5.
Snag that Frostmare and then get the Inara skin
have
that we
to.
just talked
Yes.
about.
Oh, man.
You have to.
Game over.
Only,
really
and
a
the
choice.
spray,
Perfect.
and then you spray after you get. Oh my God, it's beautiful.
Perfect.
The ponytail road. The only thing it seems like that we have to talk about next is what's upcoming for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big thing, not here in the United States. It's in Valencia.
Right. You you could say that.
And guess what? We got Dreamhack Valencia coming up, right, Alyssa? I mean, this is the big show.
Yeah, July 13th through 15th. That's next week. Crazy. Our EU
We leave
team.
on Monday.
Yeah,
we're out.
We out here.
Our EU team is actually on the road to Valencia right now, so they're stopping in cities in the UK.
They're in that van, right?
In France,
that sweet,
yeah, they're in a big
sweet Hi-Res van.
Stopping
in a van with the Paladin on it.
That's right.
in the UK, France, and Spain. So we've got the full list of their whole journey on Paladins.com. So if you're in any of those locations, feel free to check it out and join us. But yeah, so it's next week.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Are you telling
Gonna
our
be
viewers
insane.
to get in a van with strangers?
That's basically what just happened.
High-res employees. High-res employees.
in the van. Come here.
Come on, join us.
You know, one of the things I found out, I didn't even know, Garrett, I guess you're going.
Yeah.
I guess they let you on the flight
I
as
will
well.
be there.
They're letting you?
Carrying the broadcast.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
Just,
Garrett's casting finals.
Listen,
everyone.
Garrett, I
Whoa.
saw your outro
No.
the other day.
It was pretty dope, right?
I don't think you can
It was
carry
pretty much the
broadcast.
greatest thing ever.
In fact, keep my outro out your mouth, please.
Yeah.
Please.
I'm going to do it again today.
Over my dead body, you're going to do that.
So be
So be it. Great.
So be sure to watch the 13th through the 15th because we will be giving away the Dreamhack Maeve skin. Just for watching, make sure to link your accounts, and then you'll have a chance to win it during the broadcast. And then you can also get, of course, the Blood Moon Cassie and Quicksilver Ying skins during the broadcast as well.
We're giving
promise?
we're going to be giving out a lot of those skins, guys. So
Will I get one?
definitely show
I
up.
still don't
So
have Blood Moon.
definitely watch, definitely show up again. Like Blood Moon Cassie, Quicksilver Ying, Dreamhack Maeve, all available for watching Paladins esports there. But that's not it. We have Smite esports as well. We've got a big show, big production, the biggest one of the year, and it's going to be exciting for anyone who's able to tune in. So make sure you mark those calendars off. I know they sound like dates in the future, but they're next week. Next Thursday. We're on Plains on Monday. I mean, it's happening. Follow along with us on Twitter, on every single thing that you can, because we're going to be posting stuff. We're going to be talking about our journey. People are in a van, for crying out loud, traveling up there. So it's a lot of fun, and we hope you guys stay with us and enjoy OB54. They'll be coming out very, very soon as well. From what I've heard, Garrett, PTS
It's live now!
Wow! Go do it!
You can go play it right now, so be sure to check out Leon, check out the new Inar skin, the new Tyra skin. I'm definitely going to be. So, yeah, feel free to download it on forums.paladins.com.
Don't you?
Yeah.
You're a Leon main now, Alyssa?
Do what? No, I want to check out that Tyra skin.
You're still a Sky main, right?
Bay. Do what? Yeah.
Still a Sky main.
Still a Sky main.
What main are you, by the way?
Yang.
Ying.
Ying and Cassie. Ying and
solid
Cassie.
call.
Okay.
So
Solid
anyways,
choice.
download PTS on forums.paladins.com
I don't know who I'm gonna
right
main.
now.
Who am I going to main now? Who are you going to main now? All these changes. I got to try them out.
Absolutely.
Maybe I'll be a barrack main now. A blunderbuss barrack main.
That would be the universe's ultimate
Wouldn't
irony
it?
if you became a
If I
barrack
became
main
a barrack
and
main.
like the barrack guy,
I'm
like the
not gonna
go-to
rule-
barrack
I'm not
knowledge
going to
guy.
rule it out, you know?
I've been
I'll
asking
give him
you-
a chance. I'll try anything once.
I've been asking you on cast every week now. What is this guy doing? Oh, it's Barrack. I don't care. Take the cast back. I'm like, oh, thanks, man.
I'm done.
Anyways, back on to the point.
He's barrack. He's sitting still.
Let's
what do
be
you
down.
want?
I hope things do change as well. We hope you enjoy OB54. Check out the changes and read about all of the specific line items at forums.paladins.com. It's also where you can download the PTS. Make sure you get into the action because it's live right now. From everybody here at Hi-Res Studios, my name is Rainday. Hi-Res Pretty Hair, Hi-Res Martini, Hi-Res Alyssa, Hi-Res Holt, who joined us, and of course, Hi-Res Cret, James Horgan, who's helping out with the design team here. We wish you a very, very happy Dreamhack Valencia, because that's where we'll see you next.
Happy
And
Christmas
as
in July.
always, remember to never give up and never stop gaming, and we'll see you all next time. That's how you do it, Garrett.